Meet Osaragi, aka Potential Woman. She only fights bums and kids. So now her final opponent is a bum with a kid! What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do have in suit. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I stole that. Yeah, I stole that. Yeah, it was stolen directly from last week's comment section. And you know what? I'm not even just gonna. I was gonna steal it and just keep it pushing and be like, yeah, I stole it. But no, I'm gonna give credit. Okay, that was too good. That was so. That was genuinely. That was beautiful. That beautiful. Hold on a moment. I'm literally gonna run straight. I'm going all the way there, all the way there, all the way there, to that place that I see, where it could just find me. Hunter NAG4N. She fights bums or kids. Her final op is a bum with a kid. Brian hates so much. Because it's true! Name one top tier Osaragi fight. Name it. I'm not talking about the fight design itself. Osaragi has always had top tier fight choreography. But name me one fight that's not against a bum or a kid. You can't. You can't. Because it doesn't exist. And this is like their final op. But once again, I have no complaints. I'm just happy that Suzuki Sensei remembered this character. I genuinely thought he had 100% forgot. So, I'm still excited. I'm still intrigued. Let's always see more time. Let's hop right into chapter 251 of Sakamotodays, which is known as, I don't know, because this is the first page. This is an interesting color page, though. I mean, presumably this isn't like the full proper color page. This is a 26-page chapter. Sakamotodays is the header for the entire viz this week. So, this is an opener. This is a fine design. It's clear. I'm honestly kind of shocked she's wearing short sleeves, because it's clear that the whole issue this character has, because this character doesn't have a name yet, but the whole issue this character has is that they don't like how they look now, presumably after they had a child. Like, they think their skin is impure, stuff like that, and they don't like what happened to their hair. Which, you know what, though, that is actually very true to form. Like, I feel bad. My mother explains, like, I really jacked her up. And notably, I wasn't, like, despite being a relatively large man now, I apparently popped out, like, relatively normal size, but, you know, my man had a baby before. She had me, and I jacked a lot of stuff up. And my brother came along time later and did the same thing. But that is the thing that happens. The body does fundamentally change after birth. And I do feel bad, because that is just true to life and true to form. But I don't think, like, it's not like my mom turned into this, right? she didn't strap me up and go crazy. But still in that case, I understand that's a real thing that happens, and people feel bad about it. Should you take that out on others? I don't think so. But at the same time, I understand that there's a conflict that people feel. But let's see. Time to go night. Wait, no. I keep giving her this, like, old granny voice. This is just the mother. Time to go night, you naughty little thing. Oh my Lord Frieza. I almost want to pull the Zarbon voice, but not really. This is actually a woman. Let's see. Time to go night, you naughty little thing. Yeah, it sounds freaky, but it's the worst. I love how Osaragi. I didn't even look at it too hard. Osaragi's face of like, wow, my final opponent is going to be an unnamed bum with a kid. I'm never beating the allegation. The fact that we will actually end the series this way is great. I mean, like, unless she's gonna gank, but to be fair though, if it becomes a gank, it's not really her fight. It's Shishiba's fight. Like, Shishiba literally stole the Gozu fight, bro. Unironically, man. That's crazy. But Osaragi's face here is killing me. This straight look of just whole, like, you ever look at somebody, you ever look someone dead in the eyes and see they don't hate you, they don't like you, they're just purely apathetic. That hurts more than either other, man. At least in the extremes, you can understand. But when someone looks at you and there's nothing there, man, it do hurt. And Osaragi's clearly looking like, what? Let's see. Ooh, Shishiba. Hold on. Wait. I mean, I'm not gonna win the ball off, but let me. Hold on. His eyes are pointing slightly to the right. can't go manga for manga with Shishiba, bro. Look at the jawline. It's immaculate. This is exactly what I was talking about. This level of coloring for the color page and this level of coloring is completely different. And man, just the uses of gradients on Shishiba, the way the shadow from his hair perfectly covers his face. The only thing is, it's very interesting. His shirt and his hair and his facial details are all really heavily detailed and saturated. But notably, the suit itself is actually just a very deep matte black. Or not matte black. It's not really that deep. It's not the blackest it could be. But still, it's a rather simple in design. But it's a good contrast. It puts all the focus of the image onto his face. I think if there's a gap, hold on. Yo, I know what the thumbnail's gonna I know what it's gonna be. Alright, I already have it in mind. But yeah, Shishiba looks absolutely immaculate here, bro. You want to talk about it. Man. If he didn't, even with the scar adds to it, bro. If after this whole assassin thing's done, Shishiba, if you don't want to work for the Sakamoto store and the modeling, big dog, they could use you. You look at immaculate. Jawline go crazy. Let's see. Why did her eyes change color in between color pages? It's like, oh, chapter 251, freedom. Okay, very interesting. But it's purple here. So I guess maybe this is like an off style. I thought it was going to be the official color design for this character, but maybe it's not for Osaragi? Because ours are... Hold on. Because I'm going straight to the wiki, and I'm going to check her anime design sheet. We'll do Osaragi. Yeah, her eyes totally look like they're colored black. That's fan art. I zoomed in. I was like, wait, is that what I think it is? It is not. Let me see. I color red in the manga, gray in the anime, green here. Like, I don't think I'm colorblind. Those are just green eyes. Once again, same thing I said for Shishiba goes for Osaragi. Straight, perfect modeling here. The interesting though, I never noticed. Is that my screen, or is that actually that's my screen? I'm about to say she has freckles. No, that's just I need to fully do a scrub down on my screen then, because let me move this slightly. Yeah, like these are just fantastic, immaculate designs, bro. 100% down to the letter. And it is interesting their contrast. And I guess it's funny that the lady brought up last chapter, like, oh, marriage, find a good man. Because obviously, like, I don't read, funnily enough, for how much fanfiction I've read, I don't think I've ever even, the thought has never even crossed my mind of opening up a Sakamotodays fanfic. But like, and I don't actually have much context for like the community at large, outside of Scruple. So like, I'm guessing these two are shipped together? Who else are you going to ship them with? That's a genuine question. Like, who else do they interact with? It really is these two against the world. And it's their freedom. But with that being the case, I don't know. But these two designs are perfect. Genuinely. It is also, I think a detail I like a lot about Osaragi's design. Specifically, is that, or at least in this image, I do like how Shishiba is looking like away. Meanwhile, Osaragi is looking dead on. It goes to show a difference in their perspectives. Osaragi looks dead on because she needs to keep on a straight path for her direction in the future, following what Shishiba has told her is right to do, because she doesn't find herself to be a safe being without guidance. Meanwhile, Shishiba is capable of still looking forward, but having his eyes on different things. And of course, if we go with the whole shipping angle of it, it makes sense that his eyes would be on Osaragi. Technically, his future. Once again, presumably because the whole assassin world is presumably going to... I keep saying presumably. The assassin world is probably going to fall apart after the end of Uzuki as we know it, and Sakamoto taking over everything. But let's see. Sakamotodays. Okay. Man. Shoutouts to any... I know a few... I always joke about it. Whenever I talk to them directly, I'm like, you sick individual, but it's not sick. It's actually very impressive. Shoutouts to anyone who likes to do backgrounds, bro. I hate it with every fiber. There are two things I despise. And it's very funny because I'm going to have to start doing the latter for the new thumbnail style. But I really don't like coloring. I'm very even with the fill tool, like, I'll admit, the fill tool has made digital coloring infinitely more appealing to me. The reason why you rarely see digital art, non-digital art coloring on the channel is because I hate coloring. I really do. It's never worked for me, mainly because I suck at keeping things in the lines. Shock horror. But backgrounds are also my greatest kryptonite. But I do know an artist or two who loves to draw backgrounds, and they're so good at it. And this is another case of an immaculately drawn background, especially the perspective too, the camera angle here, where we get to see the different angles of the buildings, we get to see coming down the stairs, we get to see different perspectives of the stairs. So let's see, who are we gonna see? Presumably we're probably gonna continue off with this. We're probably gonna continue off with this encounter, but let's take a look. Down the stairs. Yep. All right, so we are continuing on. Oh darn! That's an interesting. if anything, I'd say the better. Well, maybe I think it's meant to be like off guard esque because they're bursting into this. They're bursting out here. This is still this here, right here, and this here, right here. Mouse. There we go. These two. This is the same stairwell. So they're bursting out through this wall. But I think the fact that you can barely even see the wall in this shot, like if I'm doing the whole, and I'm saying this as if Suzuki Sensei is one of the best at using like the visual, the medium that he portrays his story in for storytelling. Suzuki Sensei is one of the best at using manga to tell a good manga story in terms of visual storytelling. But I would change the angle a little bit, kind of like how this is off angled to show you like the building from a slightly off perspective. You can keep this like downward shot, but then I'd change the angle as if this were a camera, not a drawing. I changed the angle a little bit so more of the wall is showing. So here, when they burst through the wall, isn't another sudden perspective change. But then again, that actually could be intentional. So maybe I gotta take that back because it could be intentional to have you focused on this angle, then going down, then looking at this angle head on as if you were standing directly across from this centerpiece of the banister, and then we get another sharp angle switch, which is Osaragi bursting through the wall, pushing the lady through. But all right, and she is keeping pressure on. Yo, shout outs to everything in this verse that can eat this chainsaw, bro. Like it is, man. What's a chainsaw? Huh. I should remember. Circle saw. I don't know where chainsaw came from. What a strange thing. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Probably doesn't matter. But the circle saw has been blocked by a good number of characters, a variety of ways. What was it? Was it just last chapter that it was like the last chapter, the chapter before that, where Gozu just caught it, like straight up? Did he say like needs more RPM, like rotation per minute? Like he straight up caught it with his claws, and now with just a regular cleaver, this lady she's blocking it. Obviously, the Osaragi is clearly keeping the pressure on, and they have fully abandoned the baby. The baby in the stroll has been fully left behind. But obviously, you know, the baby got his good shot in, quite literally. Baby Blick did work. So, I guess leaving it behind is fine. Or leaving them behind. Alright? Lady is able to... And I can't tell if this is meant to be an eye or just, you know, another piece of the reflection. Let's see. Free! Ooh. Oh, wow. Interesting. Alright. So, that's interesting. So, Osaragi, she puts the pressure on, right? So, she bursts through the wall. The lady intercepts with the cleaver, reinforces the block with the cleaver to block the circle saw with her right hand. So, Osaragi, seeing both hands are fully taken up now, uses her free right hand. You can see that she's only holding the circle saw with the left. She uses her free right hand to lunge out, grab onto the woman by her clothes, seemingly not even her throat, but her clothes, pull her down, then puts the circle saw into the ground and then just uses it as a wheel to drive through multiple walls. Pretty strong stuff. But presumably the woman isn't taking too much damage. And she was presumably thrown... Why did I say... Presumably is the new word. There's certain words that, like, if I did word counters, I think we'd be at 100 by the end of the average review. And that scares me. But it is interesting to see that the first wall bit didn't do any damage. Right? And now the 3 walls, or the 2 walls she sent through now, I doubt they're going to do anything either, but let's see. Alright? I'll admit, I really, once again, love the interior. I need to stop focusing on it. I'm just going to do it. I got to stop thinking about it. Now, see, now I've started thinking about, man, how many words and phrases do I just use over and over again? Stop it. Stop thinking so much. Stop thinking. It's literally all I do. You see how massive this forehead is? It's nothing but brain back here. Not much brain. You know how I said brain? Not many brain cells. Just a whole bunch of meat. Not much brain. But would being the case, I love the interior design here. And this is an apartment building, so you get to see the little differences between the different rooms, which is very, very nice. And I love the details that are shown here. Like, I've already noticed that this is a pattern of, like, the same flower that's being drawn. But to see through the glasses, the one eye, not even in fear, but seemingly in glee of what Osaragi's doing. And then swinging. Okay, that's cool. So she swings, since Osaragi is holding onto her as an anchor to throw her through the walls. And her left, so this is cool. Because Osaragi took advantage of both hands being free, or one hand being free, she took advantage of the fact that the woman's hands weren't, but now that the woman's hands are free as she's being grabbed, not even choked out, she takes the time to take the cleaver in her right. In fact, does she switch hands? Did she always have it in her right? Yeah, so she switches hands. So she starts off with the cleaver in her left, then gets grabbed, presumably in the midst of the grab, like below, swaps hands to the right since she knows it's her, the circle saw is on Osaragi's left, switches hands to the right, swings, clanks against the circle saw. Oh no, did she cut it? I think she swings, yeah, she swings openly against the circle saw, specifically. Actually looks like she's aiming for Osaragi's fingers and got her fingers off. So Osaragi drops the saw and leaps up to avoid, and now the saw goes flying. Let's see. And yeah, the one thing, that's hilarious. The one thing that Shishiba explicitly told her, do not do last chapter, she's immediately forced to do because of the pressure being put on her. And obviously, you can get another circle saw. And apparently in this universe, you can reattach fingers and hands. And I guess even in our world to some degree. But in the heat of battle, you don't want to start losing fingers. You could pick up the circle saw again. But she does because of her guiding light, essentially. Her pathway to, I guess, just a good existence. I wouldn't say like a upstairs, but regardless, her pathway is entirely guided by Shishiba. So to see her immediately disobey his orders or like go against what he told her to do, it causes a moment of turmoil for her. Oh, never let go of your weapon again. And she immediately let go of the weapon. We'll see. Huh? Oh, it's funny though. It's not even as a point of absolute guidance, but she goes, oh, if I don't have my weapon, Mr. Shishiba's gonna get mad at me again. Yes, but interesting. So in order to presumably short circuit the circle saw, the lady immediately cuts open what looks like a faucet, sends water all over Osaragi, gets her wet. So if she were to touch the circle saw, it may not function properly. Because I mean, like, who knows? I'm not sure how much of certain stuff is waterproof, but circle saws is not one I've heard of before. Let's see. The water splashes on Osaragi, and he goes, oh, if I don't have my weapon, Mr. Shishiba's gonna get mad at me again. I get that. It's like, man, if I don't do this one thing, like the one thing, happens a lot. Especially when you start a new job, it's like, oh man, if I don't do the one thing I was told to do, I am in deep trouble. But let's see, Mr. Shishiba's gonna get mad at me again. Oh. What? Wait, what? What was in that water? What was in that water? What was in the sauce? Why is she tweaking right now? Huh? Warm? What? Oh, interesting. She took the mask off, or which just wasn't drawn in this panel. Let's see. I can't. Like, I guess I can do it that way. Hold on. That's a little bit better. I can't hit that normally. Let's see. I feel weird. Oh, okay. Handyman. What is Jane Lee at? What was in that water? Yo. As a notorious tap water drinker, and I'm talking straight from the tap. I'm a monster. I'm an animal. I'm a creature. Sometimes it throws off whenever my family visits and they see me just go from like the bathroom to like, whoa. We always forget that you're an animal, a creature, and a beast. I'm like, yes, my apologies. I do drink tap water. It's similar sometimes to getting a cup, but with that, I do sometimes whenever I'm traveling, I need to hard remind myself: do not drink tap water. Not all water is potable. It's just so easy for me to become. That's the thing, though. You do something so much in your regular life. When you're out of your regular life, you go to do something, just throw you off. And clearly, it seems like whatever was in this water, whatever was in this drink, wasn't good. Let's see. Hands reaching out for us, right? Which is interesting, though. Oh, that's right. She is definitely afraid of ghosts. That's the only reason she stopped fighting the kids, because of Natsuki. Who? I forget. How old is Natsuki? Natsuki Seiba. Hold on. Natsuki. I was already on the wiki, but still waiting for me to the bit. Natsuki Sakamoto days. How old are you, Natsuki? Come, dear Papa, tell me. Okay, so he was 18 in his introduction, he's 19 current. So, like, teens. She fights teens and bums. Teens, bums, and kids. So, in that case, it is funny to remember that the whole reason she de-aggroed was because Seiba showed up, seeming like a ghost to her because she isn't very worldly, which is very interesting. All that power, but not necessarily having the experience, not necessarily not properly wield it. She still is more than capable of wielding her strength, but she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't have a specific guide for it without external guidance. Let's see. Ghosts. Oh, okay. Am I tweaking? Wait, where did she? Did she really leap out the window? Where did she go? Because she was over here. She really went like, I gotta get through the window. Let's see. Boom, burst through the window. Ooh, gets a slash over Osaragi? Darn. Straight down the mid too. Did it actually do damage? Oh. Okay. Okay. Alright, so wow. Man. So this was actually kind of plotted. That's interesting. Because she says specifically this building. Alright. Hold on, let me see. Aw, it hurts, doesn't it? You feel sick, don't you? Before you got here, I mixed poison into this building's water tank. The water in these pipes is extremely toxic now. Darn, yeah, she's cooked. Let's see. Just being splashed by a cup's worth will cause full body numbness, vomiting, loss of consciousness, seizures, hallucinations. What did you lace it with? What? I mean, like, I know poisons can have a variety of effects anyway, but at the same time, what? And notably, that's just like, when you say mixed poison, it must all be poison. For our entire building's water tank to be corrupted that way, that just being splashed, she didn't drink it, to be splashed with this, causing this to Osaragi about her, that's insane. That's insane. I know there are some toxins that work like immediately even on the skin. Like there's some things that you're just not supposed to interact with at all. Just read all the pocket. I can't say the word to save my life. Apothecary Diaries. I've read all the manga. I know the light novel's further. Charlie, I think the anime is further than the manga. At least, hold on. In fact, let me check. Once I caught up on the manga, I didn't actually look. Hold on, I need to see something. Because I may have more peek to read. I may have more peek to devour. Let me take a look. Where's the peak? Is that I think that's the last chapter I was left on. Yeah. It was chapter 83. At least where I read it. That's the latest chapter. And it's been nearly 2 months now since it was updated. So, I'm not sure. But I do know the light novel's further. I do know the anime's further. I accidentally spoiled myself on the light novel because I started looking into the fandom thinking, oh, manga's gotta be ahead of the anime. It was not. At least where I read the manga. But, with it being the case, some poisons are effective immediately to skin, but especially considering water dilutes everything, for her to have corrupted that entire building's water tank, that's insane. But it does also show a very interesting set of Sakamoto days. It doesn't really get brought up all too often, but that is plotting and planning and pre-preparing, and that is a good case. Notably, though, that means that if Gozu hadn't dragged Osaragi specifically to this building, this wouldn't even be a viable win con. Heck, the lady may not even shown up to help Gozu when he was getting jumped by Shishiba and Osaragi. Considering it was only this building. It's not like she went around to every single building. But let's see. And I just gave you quite the soaking just now, eh? Yo. I'd go crazy too. But alright. Okay, Osaragi. Okay, she's picking up a rock? Okay, but didn't do anything. Alright. So yeah, this woman, she got hands, she got motion, swing. Let's see. So she slashes apart the rock. Oh, that's great. To heat it like that too? Yo. Fully enough though, I always think about that. Whenever like you want to make something really effective, don't just make it sharp. Make it sharp and hot. So she slices away the rock. You poor thing. You're shaking like a leaf. You must be cold. Let me warm you up. Come here now. Yo, getting sliced up by a hot cleaver? Dog, what? Like, for example. Here, I won't fully draw it, because, it's not the end of the chapter just yet. But, for example, the Blade of Worthiness. It's a dull blade. It is dull. It is dull. Like, obviously, it is still sharp enough that, like, if I were to intentionally try to slash somebody, it would still definitely cut. But, like, I can rest the blade on my arm comfortably with blade. Like, I'm putting the full weight of the blade down. And I feel it. But it's not, I'm not going to risk dragging it. I'm not going to, like, it won't cut my skin. I do own actual sharp blades, though. I could pull one of my katanas, but for right now, because it was a little farther away, I'll pull this. Ignore the stuff on it. I accidentally used it to open a box. Do not use your swords to open a box. Go find the scissors. Don't be lazy. But this blade is sharp. Like, it is sharpened down to a point. Now imagine if I superheated this blade. It just, like, this blade would already, if I just, or on somebody, it's doing damage. Burning something is really, really extra damage on top of cutting damage. So yeah, pretty darn lethal, but hey, this is the assassin world. I do get it. She seems to be built like that. And notably, I'll give her this. She is living up to the hype as one of those slaughtering prodigies, right? That was the whole point of this like secondary group that was going to reinforce the new order after Shishiba and Osaragi and Kamihate left the new order and they were down a whole bunch of combatants. So they were meant to be like these top tier executioners, and she seems to be fitting the bill much more than El Matador and the cop guy did. Let's see. Come here now. Let me chop you up. Okay, what's happening? Darn! Well, you know what though? Osaragi is dumb, stupid, bulky. I will really say that, because not only did she take barely any damage, like this is a massive cut, right? Like to go straight down the torso, it's a massive cut, and you can tell it did do damage to her dress. But in terms of Osaragi herself, you can see here from this shot, she's relatively fine, not even really bleeding that much. But here though, you can see she's getting cut to pieces on the back. You see her blood flying out. But still, these cuts are relatively shallow. Now you could argue maybe this is the lady here, you know, dragging out the pain and the agony and the torture and the despair here. But still, Osaragi is eating these relatively well. Notably, in fact, the only character I feel like we've seen is actually one-shot Osaragi was Takazuki, who at the time was the strongest character in the verse. So Osaragi's bulk is nothing to be slept on, clearly. Let's see. Yeah, she's burning. Oh my, was that too hot? Oh dear, let me cool you off. No, the tap water, please! Oh lord. Oh lord. Oh, she'll be fine. But like obviously I don't think Osaragi's actually gonna lose, but darn. It actually is crazy to see Osaragi put in this bad as a position. Have we, like, Shin has been put in pretty bad spot. But I'm trying to think of like the other, well, Shin's obviously now a top tier, that man's a monster. But I don't think we've ever seen like any of like the order tier characters get manhandled like this. Like literally can't even defend herself, got slashed up by a hot cleaver, slashed across the chest, started hallucinating, and now is being drowned in poisoned water. Like, I was right. I don't know how you gonna clutch up through this, but you better get to clutching. Let's see. This is all your fault. How dare you call my child creepy? Well, the baby is still here. They didn't keep the baby. But no, notably though, I don't know. At least I'm not saying children can't be ugly, especially babies. Babies, like, notably, fun fact about your boy. When I first popped out my mom, and she looked at me and was like, ew! And I was like, Mom, it couldn't have been that bad. She then showed me a picture of newborn me, and I was like, ew! Once I finally got some meat on my bones and I chunked up, like a few months in, I was looking fine. I was looking like a regular, chunky little baby. But when I first popped out my mama, I get her disappointment. Like her disappointment, or like, apparently, according to her, they handed her me. And she looked at me and she's like, oh, my baby. And she handed it back. I was like, go take care of this. Meanwhile, my own brother, who came a while later, he popped out fine. He was an adorable newborn. I still remember them being a newborn. He was adorable. Round start. And he only got cuter as he got older, though. Unlike me, he never became like chunky baby. He inherited a lot more of our father's biology. He's just naturally leaner. I had the chunk in me from birth, man. It took a while to get there, but I had the chunk, and I've been chunk ever since. But him, he's had his moments of chunk, but he's always been lean. So, but he popped out actually adorable as a newborn. Your boy though, yeah, I mean, I get what mom was like, oh, just a little bit creeped out by what came out of her, because I was looking rough. I was looking rough at first, but we got better. But let's see. Go go gaga! And the baby's like, yeah, get a mom. After you did threaten me. Let's see. Osaragi, don't drink it. Well, to be fair, no, it works on contact too, so she's going through it. Let's see. What is she thinking of though? Let's see. Flashback time. Oh no. Y'all hear them saxophones? Y'all hear them saxophones? Let's see. Hey, Osaragi, if you were, oh, but see, look, this talk, in fact, this perfectly parallels. Admittedly, where are his eyes? I'm guessing they're looking to the right here. This actually looks kind of creepy because of the way I'm guessing his eyes meant to be like his pupils meant to be drawn here. I gotta see his pupil here, but not here. But you know how I mentioned earlier, Shishiba's only an assassin because it's what it does for him and it pays the bills. How he's able to look, he's facing forward towards the mission, but he's kind of looking away. Maybe while Osaragi's laser focus pinpointed on the mission, looking forward. Same thing here. All these pages later, good parallel symmetry here, where Shishiba's looking to the side, looking away while facing forward, and Osaragi's just looking head on, like, huh? Because Shishiba asks, "Hey, Osaragi, if you weren't an assassin, what would you do?" Huh? I mean, you have a knack for killing, but it's not your passion or anything, right? Wasn't there anything else you wanted to do with your life? And that is, like, and it's always interesting, right? Obviously, the most ideal dream scenario that anyone could achieve is to find your passion and then have your passion allow you to have a living. Now, admittedly, I do like what I do professionally, but it isn't like my super full, like, it's like what I do for my real job is not like, I don't wake up every morning and be like, oh, I love doing this. It's not creating content. It's not doing art. It's not talking with people, right? Like, I do some of that for the side, for this, like I do make content and stuff on the side, but this isn't my full-time job. If you ever wonder, hey, how come my video's off time, or this, that, and the third, or something's late, it's because, you know, I got other things to do. This don't pay the bills. Let's just say that. And because of that, I do get that idea of like, yeah, sure, you do this because you have to, but is there anything else you wanted to do? And in many cases, some people have no. I know some people who live to work. I work to live. I don't really live to work. At least that's my philosophy. People be like, oh man, you know, I never could really take any of my vacation days. I wish people who never want to take vacation days could give them to people. Give them to me. Oh, man, I love life. Work is undeniably a necessary and massive part of life, and it judges and dictates a massive proportion of my life. But it's not my life in the way that I know some people whose jobs are their entire lives. And like the few people they care about on top of that, but mainly their work. They live and breathe that. And not in the way that, oh, that's literally their passion and they're very happy to do it, but like, no, it's not something they're truly invested in, but it's like all they have to invest in. That's the difference. But let's see. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, wait, well, maybe I'm assuming this is still Shishiba. I don't know. Sometimes when I look at Sokka and those guys, I wonder, maybe there's some other life out there for you. It is very interesting. At least in Shishiba didn't really have, and we don't know where this is taking place, but presumably this is at least post Shishiba encountering Sakamoto again in the narrative, considering he says Sokka and those guys. We know Sakamoto started out relatively low at the start of the narrative. I do like to imagine that, yeah, seeing someone like Sakamoto, who was the strongest for a very, very long time, live a happy and fulfilling life doing something that has a little to nothing to do with the work that they did professionally for years, what defined them, what they were raised in. As far as you know, Sakamoto came up in the assassin world, because we know he went to the school and all that. But they found something else, found something fulfilling, found something that makes them happy. And Shishiba has been just drifting, doing what needs to be done because it has to be done. Bills got to be paid, life's got to be lived, and ultimately the only way life has got to be lived, or can be lived, is if bills are getting paid and the job's getting done. So he's been doing that. But now that he's been given the opportunity to see others and what they go through, or realistically, not even what they don't have to go through, but what they do instead to find that same happiness, to live the same life, to find the fulfillment. That word? Find the fulfillment. I almost said fulfilledness. To find the fulfillment. It is a question. Let's see. What is Osaragi's answer? Because her answer really is, Shishiba, I literally can't think of anything else. I need to follow you, or else I could go down a very dark path. That's it. There's some other life out there for you. Am I bad at killing? I love that. Now I look at her, especially in this, she reminds me a lot of Fern, even though I'm pretty sure? Yeah, Osaragi definitely predates Fern. But still, this design, I think it's the cut, plus this panel in particular, makes me look like, Fern? Frieren? When are we coming off hiatus? No time soon. I don't think anytime soon. We're probably not going to come off hiatus for Frieren until, like, maybe September. If we're lucky. Let's see. Am I bad at killing? But you know, I get why Osaragi, who has a relatively one-track mind, automatically assumes, oh, if he's talking about what else I should do that's not killing, I must be fumbling the bag a little bit. What's happening? Let's see. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I was the one who dragged you into this world. Anyway, forget I said anything. Dumb time to bring it up. If I went around, what would you do, Mr. Shishiba? And that's a good question. And we gotta remember, like funnily enough, it is Shishiba unironically continuing the cycle, right? Because he was only brought into this world of assassins because of Yotsumura. And obviously he was involved in some sort of like criminal activity beforehand. That's why he encountered Yotsumura in the first place. But he now sees what Yotsumura did to him and realizes that he's continuing that cycle with Osaragi and is wondering, after seeing Sakamoto and his crew escape the cycle, essentially, right? That cycle of violence and hatred and death and nothing like, well, to be fair, hatred and maybe a strong word, but violence and death, essentially, that is the assassin world. Now he's seeing what he brought Osaragi into, in a way to help her, obviously. That's the whole crux of their meeting and their dynamic. But still, he's wondering, man, was it worth it? But at this point, he's like, no. This, like, in the midst of this, they need Osaragi's strength. They need Shishiba's strength. They need to do something to change this world if they were to ever even consider something beyond it. So that's like, he's like, no, not right now. Dumb time to bring it up. Let's see. She asks, if I went around, what would you do, Mr. Shishiba? Good question. Let's see. I mean, okay. You know what? Fully enough, I usually do this when I'm tired, but I'm not actually tired just yet. Maybe eventually, but hold on. I'm gonna squat in the chair. I'll put my fingers together, and I'll put it together like this. I kind of don't like female character who's entirely defined by a male character. Now is gonna get a motivational strength boost off a flashback because she's worried about Mr. Shishiba being all alone. I kind of don't. But I mean, like, that's a sweet conclusion to come to, though. That, like, in this moment where she's in the most danger, she doesn't even, like, but that's kind of, I kind of don't like that. Like, she's not even thinking of herself in this moment. She's thinking of Shishiba. Like she definitely loves and cares for Shishiba. He's the reason she is the way she is in the world she is right now, and she is able to live in this world, right? That was a previous part of her character conflict that was established. I forget in which fight against which bomb or which kid it was, but like that was a previous part. I think it was the Geisha woman fight, I believe, where we got her backstory and we knew that she was considered an outcast or a monster in her own hometown, and it was Shishiba who brought her to the assassin world and essentially saved her life in a way. Not even in a way, I think quite literally, if I'm remembering that flashback correctly. So I do get her massive debt to Mr. Shishiba and her faith in him and not wanting to leave him alone, because I'm assuming Shishiba didn't have an answer, right? The reason we cut away from the flashback, if I went around, what would you do, Mr. Shishiba, is because Shishiba didn't really have an answer in that moment. He's like, well, actually, I don't know. So in this, she's given that. And like, I don't know. Part of me is like, am I too trying to like be like, but no, I don't even care about being woke. I am shock horror due to certain very obvious physical features about me. I am in fact quite woke, shock horror. But I think it's my brain's attempt to like categorize and boil things down. Let me know if I'm tweaking on this. I kind of don't like that the moment that Osaragi is going to use to empower herself and presumably bully this woman is her dedication to a man. Like, but at the same time, her dedication to Shishiba is kind of the thing about the character. You could say maybe a better thing here would be a dedication to live, right? And technically that it's two things at once, but it's the emphasis being put on Mr. Shishiba will be all alone. It's the separation of self, which I kind of don't like. I don't like women characters who are entirely just kind of there to support or be there for male characters. So that's not really the biggest thing I'm a fan of. But who knows? Maybe I'm overwoken it. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see. Tack. All right. That toxic bath drained all your energy, didn't it? Why am I doing this? I just did leg dig this morning. I'm gonna hate myself tomorrow morning. Well, probably not tomorrow morning. Probably like Tuesday morning. I'm gonna wake up in absolute agony because I decided to squat randomly during review and I didn't need to. Let's see. That toxic bath drained all your energy, didn't it? Go ahead now. Drown to death. You're about to get one tapped, aren't you? Oh. Tell me how he's being drawn, bro. Oh, this baby's frying every single panel. Let's see. What's the matter, little man? Oh, it is a boy. But I get that though. I call every single like person who's decently younger than me, I always call little one, little man, well, typically no, it'll depend, right? Like teenager and above, you get young man and young lady. But if you're like a child, you kind of get the gender neutral little one. I don't really call him little man. Like, let me think. What I'm thinking of, like some of my baby cousins, what I call them. If it's not like literally just their nickname, which they do have, it is little one. Just because I'm like, you're relatively small compared to me. But once I get to teenage age, it is typically young man, young lady. Because I don't know, for some reason I'm oddly formal with everybody. My best friend of over 15 years at this point, that man gets hit with a Mr. last name all the time, even in text. I don't know what it is. It's how I blame it on the raising, on how I was raised. Let's say, glug glug glug. Is she drinking it? Is she straight drinking it? What is this? Huh? The water level's going down. Osaragi. That's one way to fight back. But yo, the baby's got spider senses or something. How did it know that? How did it know to lock in? Huh? I know the truth. Oh, Mr. Shishiba. Oh, yep, and she gasped for air. All right. I mean, how to beat drowning 101? Drink the water. Let's see. Mr. Shishiba is lonely. I mean, that is true. That is true. Shishiba is a very, like, notably, that's the thing. Shishiba doesn't really have anyone outside of Osaragi. So I think it's fine. I think it is. It was a little bit of the like too far, like trying to find an issue. That was me trying to find a reason to complain, I'd say, because these two characters, obviously Shishiba has this like whole dynamic with Yotsumura, and that sort of feeds into the overall arcing idea of the cycle of violence that's built into the Sakamoto world fundamentally by assassins and stuff. But Shishiba now, especially considering Yotsumura, I'm genuinely shocked if Yotsumura ever even comes back into the narrative at this point. But considering this lady came back, I'm just waiting for Yotsumura's return now, because gosh darn, we gotta do something with him. But Shishiba is lonely. Osaragi's what defines him, and he's what defines Osaragi. They are two sides of the same coin. So that's a more balanced thing than I think I was initially trying to read it as, which is good. Let's see. Mr. Shishiba is lonely. She drank the toxic bathwater until her face was exposed. Impossible. This girl is insane. Pot. Meat kettle? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so overhead swing. Darn! It just catches the blade straight. Man, you don't get that dumb. But yeah, obviously. And that is good. I do like how the chapter reminds us / builds to this idea that Osaragi is dumb, stupid, bulky. She's taken barely any damage from this woman's attack so far. So yeah, of course Osaragi can just straight palm the cleaver. Let's see. Her body must be numb from the poison. That, or she's just kind of goaded like that. She made it be built like that, lady. You don't know that. Let's see. Wait. Don't go off alone. Yeah, that's the thing. Osaragi doesn't want to be abandoned. But at the same time, I don't think Shishiba wants to abandon her either. Quite clearly. Yeah, in fact, I'd say quite clearly, because last chapter of the whole coming in, don't drop your weapon, and then Cecilia still speaking to her, even now whole building apart. Yeah, it makes sense. Let's see. Darn! Alright, this time by the throat. Grab the clothes last time, now the throat. Darn! Darn! I was kidding! Another supposedly very powerful character introduced to fill the gap in the antagonist cast, getting literally one tap with no name. Alright. Don't worry. I won't let you go. Oh, she smiles. Alright. We're doing good. Talk about it. We're doing good. W chapter. A good chapter for Osaragi and Shishiba, specifically their dynamic as characters, I'd say. Obviously more so on the Osaragi end, but I still, and like I said, I think I was looking for something to complain about in terms of the context of these two characters continuously defining each other, and not necessarily being able to be without each other in this very lonely, violent world that they live in. Being defined by that cycle of violence as two people who are very good at it. That's beautiful to see. And to see Osaragi's reflection on it. And specifically the idea that in spite of the cold, violent, detached nature of their work, and how Shishiba's even told her in the past to be detached, like you're not supposed to really feel things about it, she is attached to Shishiba, and Shishiba is attached to her. This is an equal dynamic. It is two sides of the same coin, and that is nice to see. I think the woman, especially considering like her whole thing of her lack of feeling of absolution. Sorry, I had Sonic 06 flashback, but her lack of absolution in her own existence as being unfulfilled as a mother versus Osaragi's fulfillment in existence with her bond with Shishiba is a nice parallel too. Obviously, this woman doesn't get a name. Obviously, she will not clear my skies, as it were, as an antagonist. But I think she does work to bring this out of Osaragi specifically, and to bring those ideas of isolation and connection to the forefront of Osaragi's mind. So overall, a really, really good chapter. So if you made it all the way in this video, please leave dreams of absolution. If you don't know how to spell absolution, A-B-S-U... Wait, no, not S-U. A-B-S-O-U... Well, gosh darn, why am I'm struggling to spell a basic word. Absolution. I believe it's A-B-S-O-L-U-T-I-O-N. I don't know why I was struggling. It's literally just ab-solution. That's the word. I don't know. But Dreams of Absolution. Dreams of Absolution in the comment section down below. Obviously, it's just Silver's theme from Sonic 06. But leave that down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that leave notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a Patreon below. You can support me for as low as $1, no month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions for this exam to review, ad reactions of all my videos, early ad free access to all my videos, early ad free access of all my videos, not just on the main channel, but on the second channel that called the reaction, link in the description down below and in the card in the upper right hand side. On top of that, I do have my Twitch in the description down below. I stream every Friday at 8 p.m. ES Tizzle on that guy with the controller. Roll through, we yap, we talk about literally anything and everything. It's a wonderful time. On top of that, I do a link to my Ko-Fi down below. If you want to drop 5 means to a short video or 25 means to a long video, any means at all, any support is always greatly appreciated. And I want to thank you so much for watching once again, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. Alright, lady, thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Bura Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Dino, Tim Thomas, Kaving, ORXN, Logan Guzman, Dead Meme, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, PNA DNA, Edwin Ingbinorba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Jagoda, Plant Crone, Striker Man, Brendan Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalims, Joe B, Sleepin' John, The Young Family Pastel Pandora, Mo City King DKG, Andream Bonet, Akolade Babatunde, Romano Furin, Sky XT, Victor Jacobs, Axis XC, Osin Tabwit BDM, Kingly, at JDog2656, Union Eye, Marisol Boyd, Funny Dude, Benzi Shear, Magic, Sino King, Shish King, Aswin Hedi Placetia, JMB KD, and CCC. Then, let's give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Dread Zoan, Kevin Encarnacion, Lil Kodo, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier member, Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members, J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walking Minos, and Ernesto 430.